Stan, Mary Beth, it's been 24 hours since we've been out here in Easton now, and for the past 24 hours, even more, it has been snowing and snowing very hard. It started out as light snow. Now we're getting sleet, but the big problems are the drifts. It's pretty dark out here now, and you really can't see much, so let me roll a tape and show you what it was like earlier in the day. Route 50 was covered with ice and snow all day long. Of course, it is Sunday, so there was no real reason to go out. The road is empty, except for some of the big trucks that have to make their runs. Some other hardy people, either hardy or very foolish people, are out, and they're having real problems. The roads are covered, and they're slick, and the state police are saying that people should just stay inside. Now, of course, again, as we said, it's dark. You can see that the drifts are very, very deep, and it is treacherous, and it's going to remain treacherous for most of the night and probably for most of the day. Schools here in Talbot County are closed, as they are in most parts of the state. I have to tell you one more thing. The last thing I said to my wife last night before we left was that I think it's foolish to go out to Easton because this storm is not going to be bad. It's never bad when they predict it and they expect it. Boy, was I wrong again.
You could look back to the blizzards of '83 or '79 or before the Beltway was built and not find a more crippling snow. 695 was axle deep in drifts and lined with stuck, abandoned, and immovable vehicles. Lots of people found themselves moving the wrong way on the Beltway or not moving at all. We told only essential people to go out, which meant lots of essential people got stuck, like Dr. Richard Gross.
We tried to cross over lanes, and there's a pile of snow between lanes, so we sort of got stuck even with four-wheel drive.
The nice thing about the day is that plenty of people tried to help.
Jeez, can you rock it?
He could rock, but he couldn't roll till he got heavy-duty help. And Bob Vaith, rescuing Samaritan, got rewarded with the pleasure of his own good deed.
It's fun to be out here. I don't know if I'd be out here in anything other than a four-wheel drive vehicle, though.
It's fun because you're moving.
Yeah, it's fun because we don't get to use our four-wheel drive vehicle much. This makes us feel like we do it once every 4 years. We get to use the four-wheel drive.
A call to be a hero.
No.
That was a physician that you sent home.
Was it?
Yep.
Well, I hope he gets to where he needs to be.
Which is where we can all hope to be tonight, somewhere safe and warm. I'm Andy Barth, News Channel 2.
The superstorm sure didn't put these folks behind the eight ball. All day and night long, there's been a blizzard of activity with customers storming the Emerald Tavern.
I have not stopped since 2 o'clock. I've been moving, and I love all my customers, but you're driving me nuts. All of you are driving me nuts.
What is it?
96!
Just because Mother Nature dealt us a bad hand, it didn't stop the faithful from having a good time.
How else to do it but out having a good time with friends? You know, celebrating, yes. Blizzard, I can live with it.
I had to walk about a mile to get here.
Is it worth a walk?
Well, I'm stuck here now for a little while.
Here's to the blizzard of 96. But are they prepared to brave the elements once the precipitation party is over?
I will have to walk home, and that's it.
Yep, we all have to walk home.
Are you going to be able to walk a straight line when you leave here?
Yep.
No, I'm going to follow tire tracks, and they're going to swerve left and right all the way down the street.
Business at the Udowood Mail Center in Towson is picking up.
You ever seen it this bad before? Me, personally, no.
And mailman John Guff is loading up his deliveries.
I know they've been looking forward to getting mail today, so we won't disappoint them.
After driving on snow-covered roads and through snow banks, John arrives.
The best thing to do is park and try to make it through walking.
First, roadside delivery.
You used to be in the limelight, aren't you, here? Huh? There you go. All right.
Thank
Good
you
to
so
see
much.
you.
Thank you.
Okay, now.
Can't believe you came out today. I don't know why I'm out here today. I'd have been at home. I'd have been in the house getting warm.
Not John.
You guys be willing to take this for me? Put it through the door for me?
Today, he's part neighbor.
All right. Have a good day.
And part Good Samaritan.
I am glad they didn't deliver yesterday.
because I want him to be safe and sound.
And John will make his rounds today after he and the rest of Baltimore's postal workers took yesterday off as a blizzard break. The Postal Service says they will only deliver to families who have at least a driveway or a walkway shoveled free of snow. This family will get their mail. Family over here probably won't see their mail till the end of the week.
Our policy is if it's not cleared, if it's workable, you could get up there, but something like this you can't.
Yes, John will finish his rounds in this knee-high snow walking.
I got it. I feel like a Clydesdale.
Mail dunking, high-fiving job.
Good, huh? All right.
You gonna be back at it tomorrow?
Oh yeah, be out here bright and early tomorrow again.
Jesse Jones, News Channel 2 in Towson.
It's been 3 days, and the bishops can't take it anymore.
Everybody's getting very cranky. Everyone. The dog, the cat, everybody.
They're digging out.
After Sunday, spending all day inside. Monday, the same thing, pretty much. Yeah, I'd like to get out. I was actually looking forward to going to work.
But first, they have to work on the driveway to get the car out. Just like Thomasina Bowerman. She wants to go somewhere, anywhere else.
Snowed in for 2 days, and then I think cabin fever takes hold. You just say, I have to make my escape. And you start running out of things.
This 11-year-old is out of things to do, but still...
I don't want to go back to school, no matter how bored I am.
Miranda and her dad are passing time watching cartoons. The 3-year-old is used to this, but Mark's had enough.
I'll be ready to go back to work tomorrow. It get right tiresome, and, you lay around the house, you eat a lot.
Their neighbor has been snowed in, too.
I want to get out. I have to get out. Today, I said, I can't stay here another day. I'm bored to death.
So Angela's returning to work today. Once people like Angela do get out, the hard part is not over. Some of these back roads have still not been plowed and kind of tough to get around.
Don't worry.
That's why Chris Grove is walking his dog Sunny to the store instead of driving. Plus, it beats sitting around.
It's been pretty boring. Pretty boring.
Bored or not, people have to dig out today. It's starting to snow again, and they could be stuck.
Folks are still digging themselves out, spending hours of hard labor, freeing their cars from the snow, creating a prized parking spot. Lee Cabello from Fells Point has been at it for 3 hours and don't even think about taking his spot.
I'd be a little upset, yeah. Unless it was family, I'd give it to somebody in my family, but, somebody who might be working downtown and wants to park here, I won't give it up.
So Lee is doing like most folks, blocking his space, his technique, a trash can, and 2 chairs. On Eastern Avenue, rattan fencing is in vogue.
My boss said, save that spot, so I've been doing it the best way I can.
The keep out signs are the rage near the Broadway Market. Then there's the basic traffic cones, cardboard boxes, and milk cartons. However, it seems the further east we go, the more creative folks get. There's the chair and mop technique in Highlandtown, along with my favorite, the baby playpen. The police tell me no one is supposed to put signs and chairs in the street. However, that law will not be enforced for now. But that's unless you run into this man, who carries a shovel and...
Shotgun.
You're going to use a shotgun to protect your space.
Right. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I've been digging here for 3 days. I'm an old man.
However, his next-door neighbor has the best advice for dealing with someone who takes your space.
Get in it, I dig another spot.
That's awful nice.
I'm not going to sit there and argue over it. No sense shooting someone over a space.
Jesse Jones, News Channel 2 in East Baltimore.
This is any driveway in Maryland.
It's not what we expected, really.
First it was 1812, and then it was the blizzard of '96 that surprised the English. This couple from Great Britain didn't pack a shovel, so they had to use bloody good English ingenuity to make good with the findings in the garage.
June 94 we came. We came into Baltimore for the first 3 days of our holiday, and they were having heat waves.
They stayed for the warmest summer, and then they came back for the largest snowfall in years. How will the roads be in the UK?
With this amount of snow, probably not. It will be the same. The side roads would be bad, but the main routes would probably be open.
And while we have them here, should Lady Di and Prince Charles divorce?
We're not too bothered, really.
Not too bothered with it. They opted not to pay someone to plow. Others did.
Been out since 5 o'clock Sunday morning.
Sonny Bosley is at work digging out his bosses.
We started when it was about 3 inches deep and, knew what was coming, so we were trying to stay ahead of it, but it just whipped us.
Plows need not advertise. When they're in the neighborhood, word of mouth spreads quickly saying, please come here.
I've seen $100 bills, and $50 bills out there.
Sonny has orders to follow, but says you can make anywhere from $80 to $100 an hour, but he just has to put a limit on his blade.
When I get done at the end of the day, I'm tired. This thing will beat you to death, and I don't want no more of it. I want to go home and drink a couple beers and relax.
Sonny, plow to please. Jamie Costello, News Channel 2. Have you been out driving?
What are you, writing a book?
Yeah.
Well, leave that chapter out. I've been over to VA hospital.
Yeah.
They canceled the appointment because the couldn't get out there. What are you doing with that? Channel 2? Get out of here with that bull.
All right.
Tell your boys to quit repeating so much of the same damn thing.
All right. Hey, listen.
I know you're going to block all this.
No, we're going to play this one.
You're out of your gourd.
Watch The Forecasters. They'll keep you ahead of the storm, only on 2 News.
This is graphic evidence of how dangerous it can be if you're not careful while driving in the snow. Police say this car went into a skid coming down a hill on North Avenue and plowed into the side of a city bus. This is what happens to your car when you drive too fast or try to make a quick turn in the snow. We asked Ernest West, a professional driving instructor, to give us some tips on how to stay out of trouble when driving in weather like today. First, what should you do if you get into a skid? West says turn into the direction of the skid, but don't hit your brakes.
And as it begins to straighten out, pull it back.
West says another big problem people have while driving in the snow is when traffic suddenly stops.
For instance, your light's changing, take your foot off the brakes, slow down.
How about trying to drive up or down a snow-covered hill? West says it's a good idea to put your car in second gear or a lower gear and keep a steady, slow speed, keeping a lot of distance between you and the car in front, and never mash down on the brake. But West's best advice for driving in the snow?
Of all, whenever it starts to snow and the snow begins to build up, if you don't have to drive, stay at home.
Listen, any minute now you can hear the Von Trapp family break out in the sound of music. After tackling this hill, one is capable of a pretty good yodel.
First day I went skiing, I went to the top and I said, why am I here? And then there was only one way down.
Ski Liberty in Fairfield received about 4 inches of snow a few days ago. Today, most of the white stuff is man-made powder, but still, skiers are jumping off the lift 2 at a time.
When you're up there, you just forget about all your problems, and it's just a nice ride down.
And while it's not cheap to rent or spend $400 to buy skis, you'll be pleased to know serious injuries have been cut back because of the improvement in gear.
Plus, you can fall all you want, and it's only snow, so you're really not going to hurt yourself.
Those who were beginners during the 80s skiing boom are now reaching for greater hills to climb.
Scared to death, really, to be perfectly honest with you. I was quite frightened, but, I met the challenge, and now, I look for greater challenges.
As one skier will tell you, he started young and became a math whiz as well.
Well, I've been skiing since I was 4. I'm 19, so that gives me a good 15 years of skiing.
Not bad. 19th place. While I have you here, that was an exhilarating ride, by the way. While I have you here, I learned this trick at Innsbruck, and maybe you can share with some of your friends next time you hit the slopes. Here it goes. 3, 2, 1. Here's the level ground. From Ski Liberty, Jamie Costello, Channel 2 News.
Western Maryland is lovely this time of year, peaceful and serene, except for the weekend when they hold the state Snowmobile Championships. Now, some people dislike snowmobiles, calling them dangerous and loud and a crime against nature. But they can be a form of child's play, a way to get the kids out in the fresh air for a family outing.
Keep your hand on the gas and go real fast. Okay, you warm enough?
This was the 3 horsepower and under heat. Sheena Riley is just 3 years old. She didn't win, but it didn't matter.
How do you feel about how she did?
Oh, I'm glad she made it around. We're real proud of her.
Some of these kids, however, are in training for the 1999 championships. Their hero, if not role model, might be Dale Sisler, who won most of the heats yesterday. He is to his community what Cale Yarborough and Bobby Allison are to theirs, and he has paid for his glory, though he's enjoyed it.
I've had both legs broke. I've had a couple inches of bone put in one arm. I've had my ribs broke, shoulder dislocated, numerous other things, but I've always liked to win. I don't like to be number 2. I always preferred to be a number 1 contender, and it's a bit of pride that you can still go out. I'm 44 years old, and then I can go out and run with the guys that's 18, 20, 21, and still win with them.
The races were held near Deep Creek Lake on a fairly warm day. It was above 0, and families came out to watch just as they might at Darlington or Daytona, to see the family Polaris or Arctic Cat driven the way they'd like to, but don't dare. The prize money for this is negligible, and the acclaim barely extends over the next mountain. But with 5 months of snow cover each winter, they race whatever they can.
Another kind of race they have here is with 3-wheelers. They're almost as loud as snowmobiles and almost as dangerous.
Of course, that depends on how you drive them, and they're obviously stable. They swerve and slide and throw rooster tails like hydroplanes, but they seldom tip over. They are a good training vehicle for the grown-up thrill of racing the big sleds, and they prove all the same laws of physics and life. The race goes to the guy most willing to go hardest longest, most willing to keep the throttle full open in every turn every time. Or, as Dale Sisler puts it,
you go fast and barrel after it. And whoever does that the best, I guess, wins.
Sisler sells snowmobiles, but he's not racing to boost sales any more than Richard Petty and Mario Andretti race to push STP. They do it for the thrills, and they give as good as they get. I'm Andy Barth, at large from Garrett County for News Scene 2.
No, we are not satisfied, and we will not be satisfied until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream.
I would say that I am living better today than I would have been had it not been for him. I am able to travel, live wherever I want to live, go into places that I could not go before.
One life saved.
says, I have a dream.
I think of him as being a great inspiration and someone to look forward to, someone to look up to, someone to almost worship.
One life touched.
Will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
5 people sitting around the table talking about the merits of one man. Are we better off today, I ask? They say yes. Are we concerned about the future, I ask? They say yes. Concerned about the youth.
I'm concerned that I feel that they do not realize what went on in the past to get to where we are today. Many of my friends have often said, oh, I wish these opportunities had come about when I was young.
They don't believe King would be in the political arena if he were still alive. They think he'd be on the streets of troubled cities preaching against drugs and violence.
And with the children today, if their parents would teach them more about Martin Luther King's way of life, I don't think there would be as much crime in the streets as it is today.
Breaking open the memory bank is sometimes painful, but it is easy. Bernard says those growing up must put the guns down and pick up the books. That's the only way to end years of heartache and frustration, and that, they say, is the Martin Luther King way. From the Waxter Center, Jamie Costello, Channel 2 News.
All right, how many of those stories do you remember, huh? Right? For 75 years, WMAR has brought those news stories right into your home. From film to video to tiny digital cards, over the air, cable, satellite, now here we are streaming. And we'll keep moving forward and remember to look back at the stories and the moments that made us all Maryland. We hope you've enjoyed this episode of the WMAR Vault. We will see you next time. Hey, it's Jamie Costello. If you just enjoyed this episode of The Vault, you can check out more episodes by clicking on this box down here. And while you're at it, go ahead and hit that circle, and that'll subscribe you to WMAR 2 News for great content every single day.